Alright, let's dive into this Patriots-Colts joint practice recap, because there's a lot to unpack here. And trust me, it's not your typical training camp fluff. First off, the big question on everyone's mind. What's up with Christian Gonzalez? The guy's a cornerstone of this defense, and his sudden absence is a head-scratcher. Personally, I think it's a mix of contract negotiations and that hard fall he took on Monday. Teams are always cautious with their star players, especially this early in the season. But here's the thing. If Gonzalez is out for any extended period, this secondary is in trouble. And that's exactly what we saw against the Colts. Without him and Carlton Davis, the Patriots defense looked well. Let's just say it wasn't their finest hour. Now let's talk about Drake Maye. The guy had a solid day overall, clean pockets, explosive plays, and some really nice connections with A.J. Brown and Romeo Doubs. But here's where it gets interesting. His day ended on a sour note with that interception to Cam Bynum. Look, I get it, it's training camp, not the Super Bowl. But what this really suggests is that Maye still has work to do in those high-pressure situations. In my opinion, the 2-minute drill is where quarterbacks separate themselves from the pack. It's not just about arm strength or accuracy. It's about poise, decision-making, and finishing drives. Maye's got the talent, but this is a learning moment for him. Speaking of quarterbacks, let's give some love to Tommy DeVito. The guy's been quietly stringing together solid practices, and this one was no exception. That deep post touchdown to Kyle Williams? Chef's kiss. What makes this really interesting is how DeVito's handling the new system. Mike Vrabel mentioned that it's grabbed his attention in a way the old system didn't. From my perspective, this could be a turning point for DeVito. Backup quarterbacks often fly under the radar. But if he keeps this up, he could be a real asset this season. One thing that immediately stands out is the receiver room. A.J. Brown, Romeo Doubs, and DeMario Douglas are clearly the top guys. But there's a lot of competition brewing. Efton Chism 3 had a standout day. And Kyle Williams is making a case for himself with those deep connections. What many people don't realize is how crucial these joint practices are for guys on the roster bubble. Every rep, every catch, every route. It's all being evaluated. If you take a step back and think about it, this is where careers are made or broken. Defensively, the Patriots had their ups and downs. The Colts offense, led by Daniel Jones, moved the ball pretty effortlessly at times. Jonathan Taylor in the run game? Yikes. But here's a detail I find fascinating. The pressure mostly came from the interior guys like Milton Williams and Corey Durden. That's a good sign for the defensive line, but it also raises a deeper question. Where's the edge rush? Gabe Jacka showed some flashes, but this defense needs more consistency on the outside. Lastly, let's talk about the dust-up during the kick return. This preseason tempers flair, but what this really suggests is that the intensity is there. These joint practices aren't just about reps, they're about setting a tone. Dre'Mont Jones and Quintavious Hutchins being involved? Not surprising. These guys are competitors and they're not going to back down. So what's the big takeaway here? Personally, I think this practice was a reality check for the Patriots. There's talent on this roster, no doubt, but there are also some glaring areas that need work. The secondary, Maye's consistency, the edge rush. These are all question marks heading into the season. But hey, that's what training camp is for, right? To figure out what works and what doesn't. Here's my closing thought. If the Patriots can clean up these issues, they've got a shot at being a competitive team this year. But if they don't, well, it could be a long season. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments, are you buying into this Patriots squad? Or are there too many red flags? Let's chat.